Artificial karma, what is it? Amato created something that any character can obtain, Naruto and others. But how does it work, and what does it mean for the lore? Guys, let's dive headfirst into this topic and break down the craziest, most revolutionary technology in the entire history of our favorite universe. Just imagine for a second the entire path of development of the Shinobi world. From using simple hand signs and throwing shuriken, we have reached a point where the very nature of life, death, and genetics has become nothing more than program code. Code that can be erased, rewritten, and uploaded again. And at the center of this massive shift stands Amado, an ordinary man whose intellect allowed him to hack the system of the gods themselves. To understand the true scale of artificial karma, we need to go back to the very basics and understand how the original karma of the Otsutsuki aliens works. At its core, karma is not a magical seal and not just a clump of chakra. It is a high-tech biological flash drive. When an Otsutsuki is on the verge of death, they compress their entire essence, 100% of their genetic information, all of their combat experience, and even their soul, into a tiny data archive. This archive is implanted into the body of a suitable vessel. From that moment, a process begins that Amato brilliantly described as unpacking the archive. Karma starts to slowly, cell by cell, rewrite the DNA of the host. The person literally stops being themselves and physically transforms into an Otsutsuki. But there is another crucial detail here that many people forget. Karma serves not only as a storage of DNA, it works as a space-time anchor for the soul. In the world of Naruto, there is a clearly defined concept of the afterlife, the so-called pure world. Normally, when someone dies, their soul inevitably goes there. But karma keeps the Otsutsuki's soul in the world of the living, binding it to the vessel. When the unpacking process reaches 100%, the original personality of the host is erased. The Otsutsuki's soul awakens, takes full control of the body, and is reborn in its true form. And the most terrifying part is that if karma is fully unpacked, even the physical death of the vessel cannot stop this resurrection. The alien soul simply uses the prepared biological material to come back to life. Now imagine what Amato did. For many years, he stayed by Jigen's side, observing the experiments of transferring Ishiki's karma. He studied Kawaki, literally taking his body apart atom by atom, and this genius understood a fundamental truth. If karma is just a carrier of information, a flash drive, then what prevents it from being formatted and filled with completely different data? Amato realized that it is possible to create an empty karma, a clean storage device that contains no soul or consciousness of a cruel alien, but retains the immense power and functionality of the mechanism itself. Moreover, he understood that the genes of an ordinary human could be uploaded into this archive. This became the purpose of his entire life and the reason for his betrayal. His ultimate goal is to upload the genetic data and memories of his deceased daughter into karma, and then transfer that karma into the body of a clone to literally resurrect her from the dead. But if Amato is capable of digitizing and implanting the personality of an ordinary human, then the technological potential of this discovery is simply mind-blowing. It means that absolutely any information can be embedded into artificial karma, any technique, any reserves of chakra, any genetic traits. Just think about it. Ninjutsu is the manipulation of chakra that requires years of training and muscle memory. But what if you don't need to train? The algorithms of the most complex techniques, like the Rasengan, could be programmed directly into artificial karma. The owner of such karma would be able to use devastating attacks instinctively, simply by activating the seal, because the data on how to shape chakra would be directly uploaded into their nervous system. And we can go even further. Genetics is the foundation of the most powerful abilities in this world. Dojutsu, such as the Sharingan or the Byakugan, are passed down through a unique DNA structure. Since karma physically rewrites the body of its host, an artificial seal could contain the genetic code of the Uchiha clan. By activating it, a person, without any organ transplants, would gain access to the power of those eyes. We all know how dangerous and unstable transplanted eyes are. Remember the classic battles of the past. When forbidden techniques that alter reality are used, it puts a tremendous strain on the tissues. A transplanted eye simply shuts down forever after that, losing its light. The biology of a normal body cannot handle it, but artificial karma, constantly renewing the body's cells with pure energy, could completely negate such side effects, bringing the use of dojutsu to an entirely unimaginable level of efficiency. The same applies to energy reserves. The chakra of the tailed beasts, these gigantic demons of pure energy, is incredibly difficult to control. Jinchuriki spend their entire lives trying to build a connection with their beast, but with Amato's technology, it is possible to synthesize colossal volumes of chakra comparable to the power of the tailed beasts and compress them inside karma. Theoretically, any character, whether it's Naruto, who has lost his fox, or someone with absolutely no shinobi talent, can receive this seal and in a single moment become a god-level being. Artificial karma is the absolute peak of scientific thought, the ultimate weapon and a tool of evolution. But here we come to the most important plot twist and limitation of this godlike technology. Why doesn't Amato, possessing such knowledge, hand out these seals left and right? Why hasn't he made himself an immortal god? The answer lies in the very nature nature of karma's origin. Even when artificially synthesized, even when filtered through human science, karma remains an Otsutsuki technology, and for this seal to take root, for it to successfully integrate into the human energy circulatory system and begin the rewriting process, a catalyst is required. The human body, in its basic form, rejects such a dense and complex mass of foreign data. That is why an Otsutsuki is needed to apply karma. Only a being from this clan possesses the necessary chakra frequency and spiritual density to implant this anchor into the soul of another being. An ordinary human can create the flash drive itself with all its incredible files, but only an Otsutsuki has the administrator rights required to connect it to the system. Even if the alien's soul is already deep in the afterlife, the resonance of its unique energy is necessary to initiate the resurrection mechanism. Artificial karma is a symbiosis of human engineering and divine physiology. It is human code, enhanced and unpacked with the power of aliens. Some of you might try to argue with me and say that Kawaki received his new karma purely through scientific means. But let's analyze the facts and face the truth. Kawaki's body had already been radically altered by Ishiki's original karma. By the time he lost the seal, he was already 80% Otsutsuki on a biological level. His cells, his chakra pathways, his very being had been formatted for this technology. His body became the perfect, already prepared vessel, which is why Amato was able to reactivate the seal in the form of a pure weapon without the need to involve an external alien. It was the awakening of dormant code, not the installation of something new from scratch. However, if we are talking about transferring artificial karma to someone like Naruto, whose DNA is 100% human, the process would inevitably require the involvement of an Otsutsuki to create that initial anchor. This theory fits perfectly into the canon and explains Amato's incredibly complex, multi-layered plan. He manipulates entire villages, uses Kawaki, deceives everyone around him precisely because he cannot complete his plan alone. He needs specific conditions. He needs a body that already has a connection to Otsutsuki energy in order to carry out the resurrection of his daughter. He is bound by the limitations of human nature, and that makes his character even deeper and more tragic. He has come closer to the boundary of godhood than anyone else in history, yet the final step still requires divine intervention. What does all of this mean for the global lore of our universe? It means the absolute death of the traditional Shinobi system. In the past, strength was defined by relentless training, willpower, overcoming pain, and studying scrolls. The era when ninja broke their bones during the Chunin exams to prove their worth is fading into oblivion. A frightening era of transhumanism is beginning, an era where power can simply be downloaded and installed like an update on a smartphone. Artificial karma erases the line between hard work and innate talent. It poses a deeply complex philosophical question to the entire Shinobi world. What is your power worth if it was assembled in a test tube by a genius scientist? Will the spirit of the ninja, the will of fire, be able to stand against the cold, calculated algorithms of artificial divinity? The answer to this question is yet to be revealed, but one thing can be said for certain: the world will never be the same again. Artificial karma has opened Pandora's box, and the consequences of this discovery will shake the very foundations of existence until the very end of the story.